So, hello everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a nice day. Today we're going to be talking about the FNAF movie and a review basically. And I have here GB with me. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. He's going to be riding shotgun on this review. Now, usually we do these types of reviews in the GB and Riley Vlogs channel, but this is kind of like an exception just because of how much I love FNAF. It's like one of my favorite franchises ever. And now before we get started, we saw the movie on Peacock because I wanted to see it like on theaters, but it was gonna be full people, and I didn't want to see it with like a full crowd, and then you have to wait like a week later if you want like the whole crowd to be empty, and if you wait like a whole week later, the spoiler starts coming out.
You only have to wait a few hours.
Yeah, literally, after I saw the movie, there was already one spoiler as soon as I opened YouTube. So, basically, I'm glad we saw it on Peacock because if I wanted to see it on the big screen, I'm probably gonna have to wait for a full crowd, and then it's gonna be annoying. So, I still want to see this movie on the big screen just because it's like one of those one-time experiences. Because it's not the same, like seeing it on your house and then seeing it on the big screen with like a bowl of popcorn.
We have a nice TV, so it looks pretty good.
I know, but like a whole theater.
Well, I know.
But yeah, even though I've seen the movie, I still want to see it on theaters. But overall, it wasn't that expensive to get it on Peacock. It was like
just under $7.
Just under $7.
But the problem is, not every country has Peacock.
Right.
So if you happen to be one of those countries that has Peacock available, $7 is a lot cheaper than like a full ticket price. So you may want to, if you're on the fence about like going to theaters to watch it, and you do want to watch it, and you have Peacock, then I would watch it on Peacock first, and then do what we're gonna do next week. Go watch it on the big screen, or it's depending on how badly you want to go watch it.
I want to watch it again,
okay.
But next time I watch it, I want to watch it on the big screen.
The big screen.
The big screen. I may have to wait a week for that.
Yeah, well, probably sometime next week.
Yeah, but anyways, let's get into the non-spoilers part. So first off, I want to say that I love the movie. It was pretty good. Now, it's not super mega scary. It's more into the lore side.
Yeah, it focuses a lot more on world building and the lore, and not as much scare factor. So that would be a con, in my opinion.
Right.
Because I think that it should have been scarier.
It should have been scarier.
But it was only rated PG-13, so.
Yeah. If it was like rated R, it would have had like more gore and
I will say this, there was a little bit of gore. So they put just enough gore to where they were probably like right at the very edge of PG-13, threatening an R rating. I would love for there to be an unrated version of FNAF.
Yeah. Just like Venom.
Yeah.
You know how back in the day people wanted Venom to be like an R-rated movie? Yeah, kind of like that.
I get the feeling we may see an unrated version eventually.
But yeah, overall, yes, there was all that, and it was not that scary. It was more on the lore side, and I feel like this movie combines like FNAF 1, 2, and 3. You know how kind of like Mortal Kombat 9 did it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where it combined 1, 2, and 3. I feel like it's kind of like that because it feels like it has like certain elements from like 1, 2, and 3, which is pretty good, but one thing, actually, no, that's spoilers.
Yeah, we'll wait till spoilers to talk spoilers.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to combine like things I want to say, but then at the same time there's like spoilers, and it's like, I cannot say that. But so what else? The characters are pretty interesting.
Yeah, they're all right.
Some of them.
I think the screenplay was written in part by Scott Cawthon, right?
Yes.
So he obviously had something to do with this movie, which is a major plus.
Yeah, because obviously we want the creator, to actually put his part.
And another plus I'll say is the animatronics by Jim Henson.
Look amazing.
Jim Henson usually does a fantastic job with their work. From Muppets to Farscape to so many other projects here and there. And now,
who did they do on Farscape?
They did the puppets. They did Pilot. They did Rigel, and any other time you saw. I mean, the entire TV show was done by Jim Henson Productions.
That is cool.
Like the set design, everything.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the set design for Five Nights at Freddy's and the animatronics are amazing.
Yeah, they look really, really good.
Yeah, but I think Jim Henson Productions only focused on the animatronics. I don't know if they also did the set. But the set, obviously, inspired by the video game.
Right.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, one thing I do also like about this movie is that the acting is not shitty.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good.
It's decent.
It's decent, yeah.
And I'll say another plus. The fact that they have no major actor or actress involved in this movie is good. And I wish more movies would do this because I feel like all too often they'll bring in an A-list actor or actress that becomes too distracting.
Yeah.
And you kind of, like, unless they're, like, really good, most of the time they're not, you focus too much on them instead of the story and the character that they're trying to portray. And I'll say this, I thought all the actors did a really good job. And I would talk about one actor in particular, but we'll wait till the spoilers section.
Right, for that one.
Yeah.
Another thing that I actually do like is the fact that they brought the characters from, like, the games. But they kind of make it into, like, their own timeline. Which, like Uncharted did. Where they had, like, all these established characters, but they kind of made it into their own little timeline. I kind of like that because it's basically like the old characters, but like a clean slate, which means you can start new and you can do whatever.
I agree. This is basically, I think, its own universe.
Yeah.
It has no connection to the video games. The video games are its own thing. This is inspired by the video games. So whatever movies come after, sequels or prequels to Five Nights at Freddy's,
They have to follow this.
they'll be connected to this and only, like, influenced by what we got in the games.
Right. Like, even though there's, like, a bunch of references and like, cool stuff that you can see in, like, in the movie, like, the fact that this is its own timeline, I like it.
I agree.
Because that means you don't have to play the games or the books to follow what's going on in the movie, which is, like, a major plus. Because I think they're doing that right now with, like, FNAF. Like, because they combined, like, the books with Ruin.
Yeah.
Which I don't like that, because if you don't read the books, then you're like, well, who the hell is this guy? And so, a lot of people don't read the books. They just follow the games.
Well, they make that mistake with Disney Star Wars. They've tried connecting the newer comics, the newer novels with the movies and the TV shows. And there's a lot of inconsistencies from the books and the comics to some of the live action stuff. And a lot of the fans don't really care for that. And they don't want to go having to read the books or do this in order to keep track of the lore and what's canon and what's not canon.
Well, what I do now is that there's these... That's lucky about, the internet, so thank God. Yeah. Is that they have, like, these comic dubs of the books. And they have these people that if you don't want to read the book... Like, they'll just they'll do, like, a comic thing so you can just imagine it in your head. And then they have, like, people dubbing it. And it's super good. Like, I read, like, I haven't read. I listened and watched, like, the first 2 books of FNAF. Like, I think it was, like, the Silver Eyes and the Twisted Ones, I think it was. I don't know. The first 2. And that's because they dubbed them. Because, I'm not gonna lie, I hate reading. I do. It's just, like, especially if it doesn't have any pictures. I'm just gonna be super bored. And if the letters are, like...
The pictures are in your mind with your imagination.
No, I need somebody to draw me a picture.
Wow.
Look, if it has, like, little small letters and it has no pictures, I'm not reading it. It takes too long and I'm gonna be bored. I don't know. It has to be, like, a comic or something.
That's
for me.
sad, because I used to be somewhat of a book addict. I used to love reading books because I would get lost in these novels and stories, and I could imagine the characters and the world and
well,
stuff.
my imagination is, like, non-existent in some areas.
Oh.
But I think that's it for the non-spoiler. Are we missing something?
I think that's it, because everything else we got to talk about spoilers. So overall, do you think that a FNAF fan would enjoy this in the theaters or just watch it on Peacock first?
I would say...
If they can.
If you're a FNAF fan, and you don't care about spoilers, like, I would just say watch it on Peacock.
Yeah, I mean, it's way cheaper. I mean,
yeah.
$7 if you can get Peacock in $7. I mean, just sit there on your couch and watch it, or on your laptop or on your smartphone now.
Even if you care about spoilers, like, I would still watch it on Peacock, just because you're probably... it would probably be, like, super full of people, like, on the theaters and...
True.
Yeah.
And it's more expensive.
And
you have to sit through, like, half an hour previews, and we're going to have to do that when we go to rewatch it. But I think a lot of hardcore FNAF fans are going to go watch this in theaters anyways.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a lot of fans that don't want to get spoiled, and that's the problem with YouTube. Whenever a new movie or video game or TV show...
yeah.
Like, even if you're not looking for it on YouTube, because it happens to be it's trending... it'll start appearing whether you want it or not.
Yeah.
And I know you've been avoiding all the trailers.
Yeah, that's also another thing. Like, I know they release like 20 plus trailers. Like, every single week they have like a new trailer. It's like, ugh, I don't want to see this.
Yeah.
Because basically, if you see like all 20 plus trailers, I mean, I haven't seen the trailers, of course, but it'll probably show you like literally the entire movie at that point, because they'll show you at least in one trailer, just show something new. So, you know, they'll show like one thing, then another thing, then another thing. Then you see like half the movie in just the trailers, and it's like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, it gives too much away.
It gives too much away, and then it's like, okay, I watched half the movie. I saw everything coming from a mile away. So that's why I only saw the first trailer. I didn't see anything else. I know they kept recommending it to me. Never saw them. But, yeah, basically, the movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
And
for a video game movie, it was good.
And, you know, I'm kind of glad that they're having good video game movies, because there's not that many. There's like, what? There's like Mortal Kombat 1995.
Now, that was one of the first good ones.
Yeah, then you have like the new Mario.
That was good.
I haven't seen Sonic, but people say Sonic is pretty good.
Yeah, Sonic 1 and 2.
And now this.
I think what it's coming down to is a lot more writers and directors are taking video games more seriously.
Yeah.
And they understand that the fans care about these IPs, and they want to get those butts in the seats. In order to do that, you have to give them what they're expecting in the theaters.
Right.
Especially if they've spent years playing these games, whether it's Super Mario Brothers, Mortal Kombat, or Five Nights at Freddy's, or Sonic.
Yeah. Especially like for me with FNAF, like I've been playing this since like it came out.
Yeah.
I'm a hardcore one when it comes to FNAF. Like I know the lore, and I mean I don't read the books, but that's like the only thing. I'll rather watch them, the books.
And that's how I am with Legend of Zelda. And they're supposed to be working on a Legend of Zelda movie, and they better keep their fans in mind whenever they make that film. And I know Nintendo's going to be on top of them.
They're making one?
Yeah, they're making a Legend of Zelda movie.
Ooh, because they're going to be on top of that.
Because of the success of Super Mario Brothers. But once again, that's Nintendo staying on top of the studio. And I feel like with Scott involved with making this movie with Blumhouse, he probably had a lot of sway behind the scenes about how his vision was going to go from being a video game to the big screen.
Right.
And that's why I think that this is a very faithful movie adaptation.
Yeah. So, okay, so without getting into spoilers, how would you rate this movie?
I'll give
From
it
1 to 10.
Okay, I will give it a 7. I would give it a higher score if it was scarier. We'll talk more about that later.
Right. I'm going to also give it a 7.
Okay.
It was, I would say, above average.
Yeah.
It wasn't God tier, but it was above average. It was a pretty good film.
The acting was decent. The story was good enough. I've seen way worse stories.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the animatronics amazing by Jim Henson Productions. Even the setting of the pizzeria looked really good.
Yeah, it did look pretty nice.
But like the negative, in my opinion, is this should have been scarier.
I didn't have a single jump. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Me
none,
either. And
none of them
jump
got
easy.
me. Yeah, this guy jumps easy. He's super. I could literally do like boo, and he jumps
like,
while he's watching a tense moment. But like me, I don't jump easy, and it didn't get me like at all. But I was more just focusing to the lore and all that shit. It's like I wanted to catch like every single reference. It's like, wait a second, look at that.
Yeah, you made me pause and go back a couple of times.
I paused twice.
Yeah.
And it's because, oh, look at that reference. Oh, look at that reference. Oh, cameo. It's like, because I caught everything. It's like, oh, I was.
You think you caught everything.
I have to watch it again on theater, so I'll catch something new. But, you know, it's like, I don't know why. I really cared. Also, another thing that I'm happy that this is mostly a me thing, is that I was so lost with just, like, me doing random things in, like, real life that I completely forgot that it was the 26th today.
Yeah, well, because I've been out of town the past few days and you've been focusing on other things. So.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like, literally, I forgot, like, oh, it's the 20th, and then another day happened, oh, it's the 24th, and it's like, wait, what?
Yep.
And I'm here just focusing on other things, so I'm kind of glad I kind of missed out on following the time, because I would have been like focused on this if everybody told me. It's like, oh,
time would have been ticking away slower and slower.
Yeah, and I've been waiting for this movie ever since it got announced, but I don't know why. I guess I got kind of lost in the way.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's enough for the non-spoiler section. Now we're gonna get into the spoilers area. When it comes to the spoilers, pretty much the whole pizzeria and the whole characters and everything, you know, are like from FNAF 1. And the whole Springtrap, thing is like FNAF free. It's like I said, combining multiple things from the games. So they have like all these characters. Like they have like, Chica, Freddy, Foxy, Bonnie, and then
Your favorite.
and the Cupcake, of course, the one that just ruins my runs in FNAF 4 all the time. He made me rage quit. He did. But then they also have like Mike from FNAF 1, which is the character that you play as. Now, obviously, he didn't have any dialogue or like a character at all. He was just like named Mike.
See, I thought that the security guard at the beginning was supposed to be the FNAF 1 security guard. Because there is one at the very beginning of the game that gets
Yeah, I think that's the phone guy.
Okay, you think that's phone guy?
I think. Don't quote me on that. Or maybe that's just some rando.
I think that... Here's my issue. I think they should have... That scene should have been longer. With it starting off just with the security guy just sitting there, doing his job, and then shit starts to go wrong. And then you spend the first 10 minutes like really get into the world of FNAF right there.
Yeah,
like,
into the pizzeria.
And really, I guess, being inspired by the video games.
Right. Well, the thing is that with this random employee, he doesn't really leave messages or any... This is why I don't think it's the phone guy, but at the same time, he could be. It's because basically this person, was the last person working before Mike, which is what happened.
Security guard.
Which is what happened in the game.
Yeah.
Which I think phone guy was the one that was in the previous shift before the Mike Schmidt, which is the character that we see.
Yeah, but they also mentioned that there have been other security guards that either disappeared or just quit.
Yeah, it could have been some random security guard. Yeah. But
but for the opening few minutes, I think that it would have been smarter if they would have played that out a little bit more, with him just sitting there kind of tense, and you're wondering why he's tense, and then you're building up the suspense. You're really getting the psychological thing, and then all of a sudden he starts getting like attacked by the animatronics, and he's trying to get away. And it's basically, I would love to see an unrated version that's extended there.
Yeah, like a director's cut.
Because it feels a little rushed.
The beginning? Yeah, it did feel a little bit rushed, you're right. But basically, after that, we cut to like the, Mike Schmidt.
The main character.
And you see him talking to this friend.
He's a security guard at a mall with his friend. I mean, he's not... I don't know if they're really friends because that's the last time you see him. They're co-workers at this mall.
Yeah. And then after that, he sees like this child. And he's going to go get like some ice cream type of deal because he's in line. But then he sees this child and, he sees an adult taking the child away.
And the kid's resisting.
Yeah, and the kid's resisting. So he thought it was like some child kidnapper.
Yeah, he thought it was an abduction that he was witnessing.
Yeah, so he went after him and he beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah.
But turns out it was the kid's father.
Yeah, and when you're watching it first, you're like, why is he overreacting? Because that was one of the reasons why we were just sitting there going, wouldn't he just stop him and say, hey, what are you doing? Is this your kid?
Yeah.
Like, no, he just dives on the dude, like knocks him into the fountain.
And starts beating the shit out of him.
But we learn later why he did this.
Yeah.
Because of past trauma, which was triggered by what he saw happen right there.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, it was just a dad grabbing his stubborn kid. His spoiled little kid just standing there refusing to leave. And, you've seen kids like this before.
Yeah, we've seen them. But I guess from his, things that has happened to him, his trauma, it cost him. He thought he was like a child kidnapper.
Exactly. From his point of view, as the security guard in the mall, he thought that this child was being abducted because he was resisting this dude who was trying to get him out of the mall. But unfortunately, that happens with kids all the time and their parents.
Yeah, that's why he punched him like really hard because, it just kind of kicked in this trauma that he had, and he wanted to beat the shit out of the kidnapper.
I think that they could have redone the scene a little bit better, where he actually confronts the dad, but then the dad just kind of has a temper, and then just takes a swing at him, and then maybe that's what triggers Mike to fight him and beat the crap out of him. But he just goes straight ham into the dude.
He just beat the shit out of him.
But, either way, you learn later about the childhood trauma, and then it makes sense looking back.
Right. One thing I do love is that they actually give, like, the FNAF security guard some lore and some background into what he is. Because if you play, like, the FNAF games, you see, like, all this information is laid to you, like, throughout the game randomly or in 8-bit mini games. And I love seeing, like, these characters having, like, a life and, like, taking care of their kid or their sister.
Yeah. Oh, and that was the intro. Remember the intro showed the 8-bit stuff?
Oh, yeah.
With Yellow Rabbit kidnapping the kids. Like they were watching the show, and then Yellow Rabbit would grab one kid and...
It's basically like a little backstory to the movie.
Yeah, in the intro. I thought they did a good job with that.
They did a really good job with that. Like they're kind of setting like the whole backstory with the 8-bit game type of deal, which is great because that's basically how the whole games go.
Exactly.
But then after that, it cuts to like live action, and the whole story goes live action from there. I don't think there's any more like 8-bit mini games after that.
No, there's not.
Yeah, but see, like I said, I love seeing this, like their characters like having a life. Like for example, like Mike Schmidt was just like a random name on FNAF 1. He was like a nobody. He was just like the security guard and whatever.
Yeah.
But you see like him having like a sister and taking care of his life, his trauma, like these things you didn't see. So I'm kind of glad that they're adding it in the movie.
I don't think we find out his last name until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because after he gets fired from the security job at the mall, he has to go to the unemployment office and talk to a job counselor.
Right.
Which is played by Matthew Lillard, who was Scooby-Doo in the live action... No, Shaggy in the live-action Scooby-Doo films.
Right.
He also was in the first Scream film, so he's been in a few films.
He's been around.
Yeah, he's obviously a lot older. But he's the job counselor, and like he's reading through the file, and then he says, "Oh, you're Mike," and then he kind of pauses at the last name.
Yeah,
so
and then they don't say his name until like the very end.
Yeah.
So you're like Mike Schmidt. Mike who? But if you play the games, you obviously know who this is.
Yeah, and so the job counselor is the one that offers Mike this job because Mike can't get any other job now. He's basically screwed, and he needs a job in order to take care of his sister.
Right, but then basically after that, he's like he doesn't accept the job immediately.
Yeah, because I mean it's not exactly like the job counselor's a good salesman. He says it's an awful job. The pay sucks.
Yeah, everything sucks. Which is true in the game because in the game, basically, if you beat the whole 5 nights, you get like $100.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder when you play the game. Well, why would you take the job? But to Scott and the writer's credit, there is a good reason why Mike takes this job.
Yeah,
ultimately.
like it does answer that question. Like, why would I stay 5 nights at this place? It's like why? But in the movie, they do kind of answer. It's like, oh well, of course he needs to take care of his sister. Yeah. And
there was a good reference at the beginning where he woke up to the alarm clock going off at 6 a.m.
Oh,
before he went off to the mall job.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was a good reference at the beginning. Mm-hmm. But basically, then after that, he takes the job. No, wait.
Because of the incident at the mall, his aunt is trying to get custody of his sister in order to get the government money.
Right.
Because that's all the aunt cares about is the amount of money that the government is giving Mike to help raise his sister. Because his mom and dad are both gone now.
Yeah.
And we learn what happened to them and what happens to his younger brother. Because he has 2 siblings. The youngest is his sister, and the middle child is the brother Garrett.
Yeah. And then the older one is Mike.
Yeah, Mike's the oldest.
But, yeah, basically then after that, the kid, the little sister, she hates her aunt. She doesn't like him.
They both hate her.
They both hate her.
That's like one thing they both have in common. They both can't stand her.
Yeah. And then after that, you see this babysitter like watching for Mike.
Yeah, and we're all wondering, like, I think her name was Max.
Max, yeah.
And you're wondering, well, why is she babysitting? I mean, is she a friend with Mike? Is she, like, just really close to him? Is she trying to get with Mike? Because he can't pay her. He even tells her that he can't pay her. So I was sitting there wondering, well, what is her reasoning for being here and babysitting Abby when he has to go work? And we find out why.
Yeah. And that's something that I love, like, all these questions get answered. It's like, well, who is this bitch? Or who is this character?
Yeah.
And, I love that. But then after that, we find out why.
Yeah.
And I would say that out of everybody in this whole movie, she gets the worst death.
Yeah, several of them get pretty bad deaths.
No, I know, but
the ones that actually do get killed.
But that we see.
Yeah.
I think she gets the worst death.
Yeah. And we find out that Max and her brother are actually working for the aunt.
Yeah. Is it aunt or aunt?
The aunt, auntie, whatever, doesn't matter.
It's all one of those questions I always wanted to get answered.
And basically Max is a spy. She's been sent in to try and find anything that can be used against Mike. But the only thing that Max can find is the fact that he sleeps a lot. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't abuse Abby. He treats her well, even though Abby's kind of distant. She likes to draw and keep to herself.
Yeah, so they cannot find anything bad to pin him for.
Exactly. But then her brother has the idea, like, okay, well, he took this job at this abandoned pizzeria. What if we go in and we bust the place up and we steal some things? Then he's going to get fired from that job. And if he gets fired from that job, then the state will probably side with you and like sign over
The
your
child
niece.
thing.
Yeah, your niece will be in your custody. And so the aunt's doing all this just to get the niece so she can get, I guess, the government money. And she is willing to pay them like $1,000. At first, it's like $200 to get information on Mike, but Max can't get information on Mike, so that's out the window.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, $1,000. You know, like how much government money is that a month just to take care of a little girl?
Yeah. But then after that, they go to the place.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the second night. The first night.
Oh, there's also another thing I want to say. There's like 6 nights. Yeah. Which I did count how many times they go to the pizzeria.
Okay, so there's 6.
There's 6. They went to the pizzeria 6 times, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the first night nothing really happens except for he plays a tape with some girl at Freddy Fazbear's talking about like what you have to do as a security guard and stuff.
And that first night, like once he talks to the tape and he falls asleep, that's when he starts, seeing his background story with the kids. Yeah. And you know the ghosts of the kids and his dream that has been traumatizing him.
Yeah.
You get to see that on night 1.
Yeah.
And then after that, like on each and every single night, you unlock more and more. That's something like also of the games. Like if you beat the night, like they'll show you more and more lore. That's kind of like the thing with the game with the movie here. It's like in every single night he goes to this place, he unlocks more and more information about what's going on with these kids and Garrett. And that's something that I really like because it's like a video game quest. It's like he keeps going and going. He keeps going further and further. And he's learning more and more.
Yeah, and what do we learn about Garrett?
We learned that he's his brother.
Yeah, and what happens to Garrett?
He gets kidnapped.
Yeah, he gets kidnapped by somebody.
Yeah.
And Mike was supposed to watch Garrett because they were at a picnic in Nebraska, I think, in the woods.
Yeah, but like literally the moment they tell him, "Okay, you watch him," he gets kidnapped immediately.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm going to go watch him. And then he just turns around and he's already in the car.
Yeah,
it's like,
and Garrett's chasing the car, screaming Garrett's name, but it's too late. Garrett's gone.
Mike's chasing the car.
Mike's chasing Garrett. Garrett's gone,
But then after that, I think he wakes up. And then, actually, no, he doesn't wake up. He turns around and sees the kids.
Yeah.
And then they run away, and then he wakes up.
Yeah, but what's weird is Mike is intentionally wanting to relive this dream. He's read this book. He's taken these pills. He has an image of Nebraska. He has like this audio of like songbirds and stuff.
Yeah.
Because he believes that if he keeps remembering this dream, based off of the memory, he'll find more information that will help identify the person responsible for Garrett's kidnapping.
Right. And that's kind of what he wants.
Yeah.
At first, what he wanted is like to save Garrett, but that's not really what he really wants. What he wants is more to have revenge on the dude.
It's not revenge. It's just to find out who the person was so that he could be hopefully brought to justice.
Right. Which turns out...
But he does become too obsessed with Garrett. And it ends up almost costing him.
Yeah.
But that's further into the story.
Okay, but then after that, on the second night, he wakes up from his nightmare, and he meets the kids, and then the kids run everywhere.
Yeah.
After that happens, he gets injured, and then he hurts like a doorbell, or I think like a ring.
Somebody knocking at the door.
Yeah, and then we see Officer Vanessa.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, because our first appearance of Vanessa was in Security Breach. And actually, no, it was in Help Wanted. But then we see her like physically in Security Breach. Yeah. Then after that, we haven't seen her. But
and once again, this is a unique version of Vanessa. This is not the same Vanessa from Help Wanted or Security Breach.
Yeah, this is just like...
It's its own universe.
Yeah, it's its own timeline. So they brought Vanessa from basically those games, and they brought her into her own little timeline here in like FNAF 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, and this time she's a cop, not a...
Yeah, she's a cop now.
Yeah.
And basically, she's dumping all the information of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria into Mike.
Yeah, but she doesn't do it like all at once. She slowly
drip feds the information.
Yeah.
And
she holds back information for good reason.
For a good reason, because there's like a big secret with her.
Yeah, because at first she's like, "Oh, you're just gonna be like one of all the other security guards.
You're just gonna quit immediately.
Yeah, you're just gonna quit."
Yeah. But then, as the nights go on and on, basically more things get found out about.
Yeah, answered.
Yeah, things get answered. Now, basically that's it for night 2, and basically talking about Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria and that it was her favorite.
And she shows them the animatronics. Now he did see the animatronics when he was walking around the first night with his flashlight, but they were just staying behind the stage. They didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. But the second night is when she shows them off and she pushes the button and they start their whole like dancing and moving, and he's like, "Whoa, this is interesting."
Yeah, but then they like shorten out and
yeah.
But then after that, basically, that's it for night 2.
Yeah.
She also, before that, she also says that she loved this place as a kid.
Yeah.
We do get to see why she loved this place as a kid. But, yeah, now we go to night 3.
Yeah. And before night 3, we have to backtrack once again. There was a conversation over the phone with the job council guy who was mentioning, like, a little bit of backstory about the pizzeria as well. And he did mention about the reason why it hasn't been bulldozed is because the owner's sentimental, and he just alludes to, the owner's just very sentimental about it, and that's why he wants a security guard there, just to keep people out.
Right, and you get to see why.
Yeah, you'll find out later on.
Yeah. It's all these questions that
they
get answered. That's also a good thing. They don't keep you like outside in like the loop.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, these questions, that doesn't get answered.
Yeah.
No, most of these get answered, which is great.
Yeah.
But then after that, we get to night 3.
Yep.
And, of course, the same dream.
No, it's not night 3 yet. It's during the daytime.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is when the plot by the brother and sister with the aunt takes into effect. After he leaves on night 2 to go home, back to Abby and go to sleep, Max and her brother and 2 other guys, they break into the pizzeria during the daytime.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so this is 2.5.
Yeah.
Basically, they are trying to follow the aunt's plan, or aunt, and it's just, get whatever you can for money, and then the rest is just like destroy the place so it makes Mike look bad and he can get fired.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they start wrecking the place and, of course, try to steal stuff and break stuff.
What's weird is they're breaking these pinball machines. And I'm sitting there going, like, why are you breaking the pinball machines? If you want to steal something for money, steal them and load them on the back of a truck. Because there's collectors out there that would pay good money for those older pinball machines.
Right, but that's also something else.
Well, these guys are stupid, so there you go. That's the answer.
But this is also something else that never gets explained. What year are we in?
I think it's 2000. I noticed that during the movie when there's like a security camera at the jobs office, and it says something 2000. So I think the year is set in 2000, especially if you look at the beat up like Honda he's driving, I think it's like an older 90s Accord.
Okay, because...
And the technology is obviously from like the 90s or 2000 because, people are still using landlines. Some people have cell phones, but the cell phones are they're not the same as smartphones. They're like on par with maybe like Nokias from back in the day. Or flip phones.
Yeah, I was just wondering because or it could be 90s as well.
I don't know because I do remember there being a 2000 in the security camera.
Okay, well, here's the thing, right?
Okay.
FNAF 1 takes place in 1993, I think. FNAF 2 takes place in 1987, maybe?
Okay.
And then FNAF 3 takes place in 2023.
Okay, but remember, this is its own thing. Its own timeline. It's only inspired by the events.
Right, but I guess I'm just trying to combine like things from the game to see if I can connect something.
Okay.
Because I want to know what year is this in.
But they do mention how the place was popular in the 80s.
So it's not in the 80s.
In the 80s is when those 5 kids go missing.
Right, so it's not in the 80s.
Yeah. So it's either somewhere in the 90s or 2000. I think it's 2000 because of that security camera scene. I could be wrong, but anyways.
Right. Then after that, where were we?
2.5.
They start breaking the shit out of everything and taking and stealing stuff. But then my worst fear comes to life, and in the background you see Chica roaming around. Now the person that is about to get attacked doesn't see it.
No.
He's just like listening to this bump
in the kitchen.
And turns out it's my arch nemesis, the cupcake. Yeah, it's like, oh, there's nothing here. But then he opens the other door and it's the cupcake.
I thought your arch enemy was Lefty.
It's both of them. And then after that, the cupcake jumps at him. No, actually, no. No, Chica
Distracts
him, and the cupcake is no longer there. It's on Chica now. And basically, then after that, Chica looks at him with this sinister, look. And the cupcake jumps at him and basically just bites his face.
Yeah.
You get to see his face later in the movie, but his face gets completely...
I don't remember them showing his face.
No, they did. He was on the floor.
Okay. Now, the reason why their eyes glow is whenever they switch to kill mode.
Yeah, basically.
But most of the time, their eyes don't glow, by the way. Because that was one thing people were complaining about.
They were too red.
Trailers. Yeah.
Yeah, they looked like they were high.
Yeah, I think they actually did. I think they did make them a little bit less.
Yeah, it's more orange-ish than red.
And once again, this is its own universe, and it works for this universe.
I feel, they look good. Yeah. I feel like they were too red.
Yeah.
But, hell, even if they weren't like red, if they were just like normal white, they would still look menacing.
So, the youngest one is down.
Yeah. Then
all that's yet left is this older dude with a beard and Max's brother.
Right.
Max is still outside in the truck.
And, but basically, this dude that was running, he saw what was happening with the cupcake and Chica.
Yeah, and Chica looks at him with a sinister look.
Yeah, and then the dude's like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, old dude with a beard runs off trying to get out.
Yeah, my man went gunning and running.
Yeah.
But then he keeps running all over the place, but he locks himself in the closet, and someone is in the closet, Bonnie.
Yeah.
He turns around, and then the dude gets murdered.
Honestly, they should have showed what happened to him. They don't really show it. Like, I don't know. I think they could have done a better job of that scene to, like, do, like, a jump scare.
Right.
But you just hear him screaming, and you see his hand go up against the wall, and you see a little bit of blood.
And also, that's another thing. You don't get to see Bonnie, like, dirty. He's just, like, fine.
Yeah.
So, like, what the hell did he do to this guy where his hand got bloody?
Well,
like,
that's what I'm saying. They should have... I know it's PG-13, and they were probably just trying not to get an R rating just so they can make more money in the theaters. I hate it when they do that, by the way. But I really wish we would have actually saw a bit more horror here. A bit more
even if it's
scare
just some
factor.
rando.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then Max's brother hears the screaming from the dude in the beard, and then he's the one who comes down the hallway and sees the door open.
Right. And then you see basically Max's brother.
Yeah.
And you see the animatronics staring at him through the cameras.
Bonnie.
Yeah, and Chica.
Oh, yeah.
And then basically they do the strategy that I hate the most, that Chica sends the cupcake through the tunnel like they did to me. And yeah, basically in FNAF 4, they just threw it down the hall and then just killed me. But yeah, she did that strategy, and the dude saw it coming. He heard it. And then they kept looking at him through the cameras. It was fucking creepy.
It was.
But it was cool at the same time. And he heard the cupcake coming, and unlike me, he was prepared. Yeah. And he stopped the cupcake.
Yeah, he kept the gate. He held the gate closed.
Right. But then after that, he gets... yeah,
it was a distraction.
It was a distraction, yeah. And he gets captured. Was he, right?
I thought he was killed by Foxy.
Yeah, somebody killed him. I don't remember that part.
I think it was Foxy that killed him. I could be wrong.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I just didn't remember that little detail. It was too bad. Okay, but then after that, like, Max is like, what's taking so long?
Exactly. So Max decides, hey, I'm going to go inside this abandoned pizzeria and find out what's up.
Yeah. Then after that, he sees this kid.
Yeah, she. Max.
She. My bad. She sees this kid, which is, like, the kid that is, like, it was, like, the golden blonde.
Yeah, the blonde kid.
Okay, so it was, that kid. And then after that...
the blonde kid's basically telling her to follow him.
Right.
Yeah.
And basically after that, she follows him.
Yep. And
it leads to the parts and service room.
Okay.
Then after that, the kid's like warmer, and she gets closer.
And who's in the room with her?
Who?
Freddy Fazbear.
Yeah, well, I thought it was like the mask.
No, it was the entire outfit.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was the entire animatronic. Freddy Fazbear was just standing there.
Okay, then Freddy Fazbear was there, and then she's like, okay, I'm gonna, stand on this chair. I'm gonna get really close to this mask and Freddy, basically. And she's like, I'm gonna go look. And the kid's like, warmer. And it's like, how are you this dumb? It's like one of these horror movie tropes where the character's just like extremely dumb. And then after that, she basically gets bite of 87.
Yeah, it's weird because you get this kid's hand come out of the mouth of Freddy as, I guess, the jump scare for the audience.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see a shadow of Freddy chomping the body in half.
Yeah.
And then you see half the body hit the ground.
Mm-hmm. It did look good, though.
It did look good, yeah.
But it's like one of those things, like, show the whole thing because, R-rated.
Well, that's why I'm hoping that there'll be an unrated version.
Please.
Yeah.
But then after that, it cuts to night 3, basically.
So they're all dead. And I think those might be the last one. Oh, no, there's at least 1 or 2 more to get killed.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them that get killed.
Okay.
Then after that, we have I'm going to skip around a little bit.
That's fine.
After that, we cut to, like Vanessa, and Vanessa meets Abby.
Yeah.
Then
because Max is not able to babysit anymore, obviously.
Because she's dead.
Yeah. Even though Mike doesn't know that.
He will know that.
Yeah, but he has no choice but to take Abby to the pizzeria.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's when she meets the animatronics.
Yeah.
And also, I think Vanessa's there as well.
Well, Vanessa does show up later.
Right.
But Abby, she brings the animatronics to life.
Yeah. Because that's also something that we wanted to see, or at least I wanted to see. It's like we see how these animatronics react to adults for obvious reasons. But we've seen them like in the 8-bit version, of course. But now in the live action version, we actually see how these animatronics actually treats the adults, and it's like, wow. Mm-hmm. But I've always wondered, what happens if they bring a child?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we've seen this before with the animatronics and Gregory, but the animatronics were hacked, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
But like the animatronics, but with a not hacked version, and they see the kids.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that, and that's basically kind of what we got here.
Yeah. And
they were pretty friendly.
Yeah, they were very friendly to Abby.
Now, yes, they are not hacked; they are ghost possessed, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to count that as hacked.
Yeah, it's obviously more lore friendly when it comes to this story compared to, say, the Child's Play remake, which was a hacked Chucky doll instead of, the ghost of Charles Lee Ray. But so this works for the movie and for the franchise.
Right. Now, I like the direction they kind of took this, where they were pretty friendly with the kid.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that,
Mike wakes up from another nightmare, and I think he's starting to interact with the blonde boy more.
A bit more. Yeah.
And by the way, the blonde boy is very talented. I don't always say this about child actors because most of the time they're just doing the best they can.
Yeah, they're kind of trash.
But for some reason, when you see moments when he's supposed to look sinister,
he looks sinister. Yeah, that kid rock.
Yeah.
He did.
I get the feeling that in a few years from now, he might actually be a big-time actor when he grows up.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Remember this kid, because one day he might actually be famous.
Yeah. Fellow kid who played, the sinister ghost of the robot.
Yeah.
Good job. You did really good.
GG's.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever watched this, but if you do, good job.
Yeah, good job.
But, yeah, basically then after that, he's unlocking more secrets. I think after
he wakes up hearing Abby screaming, and then he runs into the pizzeria.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Get away from them!" Like
because she sees the animatronics surrounding Abby. He doesn't know what's happening to her.
Yeah. Then Freddy, turns his eyes red, and he's gonna approach.
And his eyebrows are all mean looking.
Yeah, and he's approaching Mike, but then Abby comes in and no, they were just tickling me. They were just tickling me.
Yeah.
And basically she tells Freddy, "Hey, this is my brother Mike. Don't worry about him. It's fine."
Yeah.
And then Freddy calms down.
Yeah, they all calm down.
And then, it's weird because Mike thinks this is a prank. It's like, okay, all right, come on out now.
Yeah.
It's fine. But, yeah, it's not a prank. There was nobody controlling them. Nobody answered.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nobody comes out, and they're actually ghost-possessed robots.
Yeah.
Which, who would believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Mike, jumps into that because, nobody answered. They're moving, and...
Yeah, and there's an obvious connection between these kids he's seeing in the forest in his dream.
He connected that pretty quickly.
Yeah, because he never saw them before. And he feels like that Garrett has some sort of connection to the pizzeria. He feels him more when he's dreaming than he did previously.
Right. Now, we also see that I don't think we ever see Garrett as any of the animatronics.
No,
those are just others.
No, we never see Garrett as an animatronic.
No, we just see him in the dream, but that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, but then after that, basically, we see the animatronics being kind of friendly. So I was wondering, okay, well, if the animatronics are going to be kind of friendly, then who's the bad guy here?
Yeah.
Because they start being friendly. And, okay, well, what's going to happen here? Because in the games, you defend yourself from these animatronics. So what are we doing here? Because we do see Mike going out a lot. Instead of being, like, in the main office, he keeps roaming around a lot in the pizzeria.
Yeah.
Which is, like, not advised.
Yeah. And it does get a little too friendly with the animatronics because Abby.
Yeah.
Because you got Abby there, you got Vanessa there, you got Mike there hanging out with the animatronics while they're building this fort out of tables and chairs, just having a good time.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird. But at the same time, that's something that I've also wanted to see, like this animatronics being friendly to the kids, because we always see them killing people.
Yeah.
And, jump scaring, like adults.
Yeah.
And like, I've always wanted to see, like, an animatronic being friendly with the kids, doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because we never see that. It's always like, oh, avoid this animatronic because they're trying to kill you. Like, with the glam rocks.
Yeah, I guess when it comes to the movie, like Scott wanted to flesh out the animatronics a little bit more and make it to where they're not completely evil.
Yeah, because that's also another thing. These are kids possessing these robots.
Yeah.
So the kids are not evil.
Yeah.
They're just kids.
And we find out they're not just ghosts possessing the robots, the animatronics.
Right.
And that's something that Vanessa eventually has to tell Mike, because she knows a lot more about this than we think. But Abby actually gets hurt because, like, while Vanessa and Mike are having a conversation about the spring lock traps, because there was, like, one of the...
Oh, yeah, that gets explained.
Yeah.
We see the spring lock suits,
Yeah.
like, in the parts and service room.
Yeah.
And it's like, why didn't you tell me about this?
Mm-hmm.
Because these suits are dangerous. Mm-hmm. Like, you see what happens if somebody wears them. You see it. And it is pretty dangerous. Literally, they can bleed you out.
Yeah.
Basically. You see it in the games.
It's a painful way to go.
It's a painful way to go. You do not want to be wearing one of those. Mm-hmm. Which, who thinks that's a good idea? Why don't you just wear a suit with padding? Like...
Yeah, I don't know.
Like at least the furries have figured that one out a long time ago.
Oh, God. So Abby goes back. She's about to touch Bonnie's guitar, and Vanessa's trying to stop her because I guess there's like a short circuit issue on the guitar.
Yeah.
And it's like a live electric line or something.
Right. And we actually see her touching the guitar. She does the riff thing. But then she gets shocked, and basically then after that she gets knocked out for like a couple minutes or something.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, like the robots are behind them. And it's like, is she okay?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously they don't say anything, but they're looking at her.
You can tell that they're concerned about Abby.
Yeah.
Because they like her.
Yeah.
Then,
a little too much maybe.
Yeah, and then I think Vanessa basically tells Mike to never bring Abby back because she's worried about what may happen to Abby.
And we do see why we don't want to see Abby back.
Yeah.
You do see why.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's do a little jump here because we're going a little...
a little too long in it?
Yeah. So let's just do a little jump here. Okay, so we're going to go into the final act. Okay, so the final act, we see basically the kids.
Yeah.
Because Mike asked them, like if you show me more of the stream or basically what Mike wanted, you can give, like the kids ask, like, I want whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, the kid, the blonde kid who's, I think, Freddy Fazbear. Is he Freddy Fazbear or
because
Golden Freddy?
I think he's Golden Freddy because he says, like, when Freddy assaults the house. Golden Freddy.
Yeah, it's Golden Freddy.
Yeah, basically he's like, Freddy? No, not Freddy.
Yeah.
Don't you remember that?
Yeah.
When he knocks out the aunt.
True. But, okay, so what the kid tells him is, you don't want to find out what happened to Garrett. You don't want to find the person responsible. You just want to come back to this moment.
Which is
and
very
you
stupid.
Want to save Garrett.
Yeah, but it's impossible.
And in Mike's desperation to save Garrett, he's so focused on Garrett that he's, neglected Abby.
Basically.
And he basically agrees to let the kids have Abby, which was a big mistake.
Yeah. But
then he realizes he made a mistake within a few seconds. He came to his senses, but
it was too little too late.
Yeah.
Then after that, we also get this big reveal that Vanessa is the daughter of William Afton.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, Springtrap.
Yeah. He's the one responsible for... He's the owner of the pizzeria. He's also responsible for the kids disappearing.
Yeah, which is very accurate to the lore of the games.
Yeah.
Because that's what did happen. He was one of the owners, because we also have the other owner, Henry Emily, I think is his name.
I don't think that exists.
But he hasn't appeared yet, or
he won't.
He won't,
because I think that has nothing to do with this story.
If they don't add him later.
Well, I mean, it's the movies. Movies usually simplify things a little bit more.
Right. Okay. But then basically, Vanessa is the daughter of William Afton.
Yeah.
Now in the games, that has nothing to be. It's not connected like at all.
There's some loose connection, and some people have theorized that she might be his daughter, but that's about it. Nothing confirmed.
Yeah, it's just theories.
But once again, we're focusing on the movie.
Right.
Yeah. So they tried to kill Mike, the animatronics. Mike gets away, and he's made a deal with the aunt for some. I guess in his desperation, he turned to the aunt to babysit Abby, and I guess he was going to agree to sign over Abby to the aunt.
Yeah.
But that's when Golden Freddy shows up at the house while the aunt is babysitting Abby.
Right.
And that's another thing. I wanted more violence. I wanted more jump scares and more killing. And this was a missed opportunity to have Golden Freddy stalking and killing Aunt, whatever her name was.
The aunt.
Yeah.
I guess it's heavily implied that she's dead, but she's just knocked down on the floor.
Why not show that? It's supposed to be a horror movie.
Yeah, but if they show blood or
even though there's blood. Show the blood though. They could have done a better job with this scene. They could have actually had her like suspicious that someone's in the house, and then all of a sudden she turns around and jump scare.
Yeah.
That's all you needed. But we don't even get that.
No, she's just like...
Yeah, you just see Golden Freddy in the background while she's sitting there watching TV. And then it jumps to a scene where Abby comes in the room.
Yeah.
And then she leaves with Golden Freddy. And then you see, like, her, I guess, the body of the aunt laying on the floor.
Yeah, and then that's it. Then it just kind of cuts to the Corey X Kenshin cameo.
Yeah, a little cameo.
Yeah.
He's a cabbie.
He's a cabbie, and it's like, where to? And then you see her jumping in, but then he has like this ruckus in the back, and he sees Golden Freddy.
And I'll say one thing they did right with the trailer, because I think in the trailer, it's just regular Freddy that's in the back of the cab with
No,
him.
it's not.
It's not?
No. You see Golden Freddy as well, because he has this blue eye.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
oh, well, see, all the more reason not to watch the trailers.
Yeah.
It gives stuff away.
But then in the trailer, yeah, you see like this Golden Freddy, and then you see Freddy with one eye and without the other one, but it's like all blue in the middle, like you saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was all broken. It was not like this Freddy was obviously another Freddy. Okay. So we saw Golden Freddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know we saw Golden Freddy, so.
So, yeah.
But it's weird because who's possessing regular Freddy? Is that a different child possessing?
It's a different child.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mike was communicating with Golden Freddy all this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then after that, we cut to the, what was it? The pizzeria.
Yeah, because Golden Freddy has taken Abby to the pizzeria.
Yeah, but
Vanessa has rescued Mike and is patching him up back at a police station.
Yeah,
and then she's finally telling him everything. Like you were just talking about, how she's Afton's daughter and how Afton is now after him. Now William Afton is my father. He did all this horrible stuff. I try to keep people from going to the pizzeria.
Yeah, so she knew everything.
Yeah.
But then after that, we cut to basically the pizzeria, and you see Springtrap.
Yeah, Springtrap shows up.
Yeah, Springtrap shows up. So you finally see him. Now, at first when I saw him, because of his design, I thought it was already like old Springtrap, where he was like all deceased and dead.
No.
Because you see the mask like glowing, and his suit is kind of like ugly-ish. Yeah. So I thought he was already like, dead. But no, it's William Afton, and he is alive.
Yep.
And I do not recognize the actor. I seen his face.
William Afton was the jobs counselor.
Oh, was he?
Yep.
Oh.
So William Afton's been playing Mike the whole time.
Okay, well, I didn't know that because I didn't recognize his face.
Yeah, he didn't have glasses on.
Oh, so that's why I didn't recognize him.
So that's how it all connects. In fact, if you go back and watch the intro of the movie, you'll see Matthew Lilliard's name appear by Yellow Rabbit whenever they show Yellow Rabbit.
Oh, well,
or was it Purple Man? Because I think Purple Man does appear in the intro. I don't remember.
He appears in the 8-bit thing.
Yeah, in the 8-bit thing. That's what I'm talking about. And Matthew Lilliard's name happens to be right there
Right.
when Purple Man appears in the 8-bit.
Well, that's one of the things that I have to rewatch the movie again.
Exactly, because
so
there's things you'll miss. I caught it, though. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to spoil it for you.
I didn't catch it, though.
Okay, so that's what I didn't realize. I didn't realize you didn't know that the jobs counselor and William Afton was the one and the same.
Well, I couldn't see the detail in the face.
See, now it all connects a bit more for you.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize that because I didn't know.
You know.
So now we know that William Afton was the one offering Mike the job.
Exactly, and that's what he's been doing.
Oh,
See?
okay.
He finds poor schmoes down on their luck, and he offers them this job where they'll most likely not survive and disappear because who would give a crap about these people anyways?
Right.
But he had the security guard there just so no one else would come poking around.
Right. Yeah, so nobody would find out about the
And
murders.
what he was talking about over the phone call was basically he was referring to himself about the pizzeria owner being sentimental, and that's why...
So himself. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so now it's all being connected a bit more for me.
It all makes sense.
Yeah, it's just... That's me.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
And it turns out, and it's been alluded to in like the fan art that you were talking about, where it's always the yellow rabbit and the children, that yellow rabbit controls the animatronics. So there is something controlling them, which is William Afton.
Yeah. Well, in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie. He controls them.
Yeah, but then after that, what Abby does, because, the children were trying to take Abby into, like, becoming like one of them.
Because that's what William Afton wants. He wants her to be transformed into one of them.
Right.
And I think it was Baby Doll.
It was Circus Baby, yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously it wasn't as big.
No.
But yeah, it looked like Circus Baby at least.
Yeah.
And then after that, she gets rescued by Mike.
Yeah, she gets rescued because Vanessa gives Mike a taser, several different tasers.
Yeah.
Because it short circuits them temporarily, the animatronics.
Yes. But then after that, basically we see Springtrap, and we see like this whole confrontation between Vanessa and Mike, and Abby versus Springtrap and the animatronics.
Yeah.
And basically, Mike is like extremely injured.
Yeah.
Because of trying to rescue Abby and fighting the animatronics.
Yeah.
And Springtrap has him like right there.
Mm-hmm.
And basically that's when Vanessa shows up.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't you hurt him?
Yeah, she's threatening to shoot her father.
Right.
But her father's like, you ain't gonna shoot me.
Yeah. She does fire a warning shot. I think it hits him.
Yeah, but obviously he's wearing a suit, so I doubt it.
I'm surprised that didn't set anything off.
No.
Because it's a bullet. I mean, that's just quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, he stabs Vanessa.
Yeah.
Vanessa gets completely knocked out of the picture for now.
Yeah.
And then you have Abby, trying to save Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that,
she's hiding from Foxy because.
Oh yeah, she's hiding from Foxy. Then, because the thing is that we're jumping all over the place.
We are, yeah.
Because I'm trying to like go ahead, and then you bring me like back to this.
All right.
So basically, what she's trying to do is help the kids remember, because what she's trying to show is the pictures that we saw in the beginning of the intro with the fan art.
Yeah, because she's been drawing this whole time.
Right. So she wants to grab those so she can make the kids remember.
Yeah.
So that way they're not being controlled by Springtrap anymore.
Yeah, and she basically with her artwork, she puts it on the fan art section, and she shows what Afton really is. They show him killing the kids.
Right.
And then it makes the animatronics realize that Yellow Rabbit or Afton is not their friend.
Right. He's
the one responsible for what's become of them.
So and that's when they see it.
Yeah.
And that's when they wake up and they all team up against Afton.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't know what happens that sets one of the spring locks off. Like,
Cupcake attacks.
Cupcake attacks. And then one of the spring locks gets loose.
Yeah. Cupcake chews through the suit,
Yeah.
Afton's bunny suit, and it triggers like all the spring locks to start.
Yeah, one starts going in, then like the cupcake like gets away.
Yeah.
And then like all the spring locks, you see them slowly but surely like closing in on his bones.
I think that this scene could have been handled better because I think he should have been in way more pain, screaming like like.
Yeah,
screaming.
he's just like showing like face pain, but he's not screaming.
Yeah, I think they should have done this scene a little bit better because I think like we've talked about and as we've seen in the video game, seems pretty painful, and you think you'd be screaming and like whenever I injured my back weeks ago, I was sitting in the gaming chair screaming for a few minutes.
Exactly. Now imagine if a piece of metal was slowly shoving into your bones and
a whole bunch of pieces of metal.
No, I would be screaming out loud.
Exactly.
But basically you hear him like grunting in pain, and then after that the robots like surround him, and then he puts on his mask and he says his famous line of "I always come back."
Yeah.
Now I feel like his voice, I don't know why, but I feel like his voice could have been deeper, because it just if you hear like the voice audio of William Afton of all of the games, it sounds deeper. It sounds like more. Well, I always come back, like very sinister.
When he has the mask on at the beginning, and he's attacking Mike, he does sound deeper, because there's obviously a voice modulation with the mask,
right?
The Springtrap mask,
right? But he does say his line.
Yeah, I always come back, and then he puts the mask. I guess he's kind of accepting his fate or something.
Yeah. Because at that point, he couldn't really do anything. He's not escaping. He's in huge amounts of pain. The robots are surrounding him.
Yeah, and they're dragging him away further into the pizzeria.
Yeah, Foxy drags him away with his hook.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's obviously like his body's like twitching, so...
Yeah, like the games.
Yeah.
But then after that, you see what happens with the characters.
Yeah. Abby, Mike, they grab Vanessa and they get out of the pizzeria. And the pizzeria is starting to fall... A little bit of it's starting to fall apart. Not all of it, but like...
Yeah, most of it.
No, not even most of it. Just like some of the ceiling comes down enough to cover the entrance. So kind of like, I guess, blocking the way so no one else could come inside the front entrance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's a time jump.
Yeah, there's a time jump. You see what happens to Vanessa, Mike, Abby, and Vanessa's in the hospital because of obviously what?
A stab wound.
Yeah, a stab wound.
She's still recovering from that, but she's in a coma, I guess.
Yeah. Then after that, you see Mike and Abby, and you see them like pretty much, better bonded, and they're not as awkward.
I'm guessing he must have got another job over the past few weeks.
I'm hoping.
Because, like, he's able to provide for her. I mean, she's also getting money from the government, because he's her custodian.
Yeah.
But then all this other stuff doesn't really get explained, like, well, shouldn't somebody have found out about the aunt?
The aunt, yeah.
All the dead people at the pizzeria that were killed?
Yeah, like, what happened to the aunt? Unless she's, like, alive, and we see
she's dead.
Well, somebody must have said something, but we don't see what happened to the aunt.
I guess it's just people that no one really cares to miss.
Yeah, maybe. But still, like somebody, like the government must have, have you seen this aunt that has, asking you for your sister? It's like, no, I haven't seen her.
Well, it's like no one likes the aunt anyway, so, oh, well.
Whatever. But then after that, you see William Afton twitching in the kitchen. Yeah. And then you see, like, the kid, one of the kids.
It's Golden Freddy.
It's Golden Freddy,
the blonde
basically.
Kid, yeah.
And then you see him watching him for the door.
Yeah, and he's closing the door on William. I think William's reaching out or something.
Yeah, William's reaching out, and then it cuts to the kid, and he clocks the door, and then the movie ends.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, right there.
So it implies that they're leaving William Afton trapped in the pizzeria.
Yeah, what I like is that they left it open for a sequel.
Yeah.
It's obvious that it can continue somewhere from there.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I'm really hoping that this movie does really good enough to get a sequel.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it deserves one. No, I'm hoping that the writing's also good. I'm hoping this movie's good and then they make a sequel on this shit. I'm hoping it's not the case.
Well, I think that with Scott involved, I think that there's potential for other FNAF movies. It's also possible they do a time jump backwards.
Maybe. It could be a prequel.
Yeah.
Because that's what they did with FNAF 1, where if it being a normal press, in the 90s, and then FNAF 2 was a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
or they jump forward, and do a security breach movie.
I would love to see a security breach movie. Give me live action Roxanne Wolf.
Yeah, our sister location.
I don't like sister location.
They do one similar to FNAF 4, with just a child, and having to deal with nightmares and whatnot.
Yeah. I would say this, Foxy looked really good.
I thought all the animatronics.
They all look really, really good. Can I have one?
Yeah.
I don't want it murdering me, but I want one.
Yeah.
How much is it? $5,000?
Yeah, I'm sure they were a little bit more expensive than that to put together, but
yeah.
Yeah. Once again, credit to Jim Henson Productions. The animatronics look amazing. Obviously, Scott was probably sat down brainstorming and discussing exactly how they were supposed to look and move and function, and I thought they did a good job with that.
Right.
And the story was decent. It's just that it should have been scarier.
It should have been scarier, yeah. Also, another thing that I love is that in the credits, there is a post-credit scene, by the way, so if you do...
Yeah, there's mid-credit and post-credit.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really a post-credit scene. It's just audio at the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's two things. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a post-credit scene, and then there's like audio dialogue that I'm just gonna say it. It's like, you know, like in the games where it's like H E L P, and you know it's like help them. You know, like in the games. Well, in this one it says come to me.
Yeah. Come to.
Or is it come find me?
Yeah. Come find me.
Yeah, and then the movie ends.
Yeah, but then the mid-credit scene is Corey sleeping in his cab.
Yeah.
And then you hear something get into the cab.
And it's just like a balloon boy.
Yeah,
figurine.
little tiny balloon boy that jump scares him.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I really love is that they're playing the FNAF Living Tombstone theme, like in the actual credits.
Yeah.
Like that is legendary. Like I don't know why, but that song just blew up in 2014, and it just stuck around. But the fact that they're using that as like one of the official FNAF themes.
Yeah, and then you talked about the fan art, so.
And the fan art, yeah, like you can see like all the fan art, and it's amazing. I love this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I might raise my score to like 7.5.
Okay.
It's a pretty good movie. That's what I loved about this movie. It's not shit. It's not god tier amazing, but it's not shit. It's a pretty good movie, and that's what I would like that movie. You know, to be like average or above average, like in that ballpark.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it to be like too fan servicey or something like that. I would just want it to be like decent.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like it's really hard to make a really good movie that, you know, that'll satisfy everybody for the fans and all the fan service, but you don't want to make it too fan servicey. It's weird to find that happy medium. I think they did that good here.
Yeah, I think it's once again another video game adaptation done right.
Yeah.
On the big screen, and that's because Scott was involved and everyone that was involved in the movie.
That's also something else. This movie has been teased for years. Mm-hmm. I'm glad it wasn't shit.
Yeah.
I'm really glad it wasn't shit, because if it turns out like, oh yeah, we've been talking about a FNAF movie since like 2016, and then they release a pile of shit, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, I think most FNAF fans are going to be happy with this movie, but I think that just like with me and you, the weakness of the movie is lack of jump scares, lack of horror. There should have been more. Yeah. You could have still kept the PG-13 rating, but give us more scary moments.
Yeah, that's gonna be like my little feedback as well. I think this movie needs more scares or more tension, more tense moments.
And that's why, once again, I hope there's an unrated version that provides that for like more hardcore FNAF fans.
Yeah, we need a little bit more horror. There just wasn't enough. Yeah. It's a good movie, but it focuses more on the lore and what's happening with the pizzeria rather than scares. Even though jump scares is like a big part of the whole thing.
I agree. And I think most FNAF fans would agree with that.
Yeah. It had like maybe like 2 or 3 jump scares in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And like none of them got me. I did not get scared like at all.
Yeah, even I didn't.
And DB's jumpy. He didn't get scared at all. We need more jump scares. Or at least something that was scary, because it just really wasn't that scary. It was cool, but it wasn't scary. But yeah, that's basically my spoiler version and my non-spoiler version and what I think of the movie overall. Pretty good movie. That's all I'm going to say. Go watch it. And, like, after watching it, and you guys saw the spoilers, what do you guys think of the movie? Like, even if, I don't know. What do you guys think of the movie? There you go. I thought it was pretty good.
Feel free and let us know below in the comments section.
Bye-bye.